Jess had a really good dance this time. You missed it.
I know.
You missed it.
Only the patrons will see that. If you're part of the Patreon, you'll get the live video, all the TikTok dances I do while we're recording.
Jess, are TikTok dances still a thing?
I mean, I'm the person to ask. I think you've come to the right person.
I'm throwing to my youth correspondent, Jess.
I mean, I think yes, but I think the barriers to entry are much higher now. Like, I don't think you're going to get like 900,000 views with a sloppy TikTok dance. Like, you're going to need years of training to do a TikTok dance nowadays.
You gotta be Gene Kelly.
You gotta be a real Gene Kelly, a Fred Astaire, a Ginger Rogers, another dancer, some fourth one.
Man, there's this movie, The Young Girls of Rochefort. And it is this delightful French musical, and it's all like it's largely, not entirely, but it's a lot of French actors. You're having a good time. You're seeing them. They're all in like these bright, like it looks like it kind of looks like how the 60s in Austin Powers looked.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's all candy colored.
Yeah.
And so it's like they probably, when they were making Austin Powers, they probably were like, all right, we want it to look like this. And so it's like you're really enjoying. It's this very charming, very like, cute
baby,
and funny. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
very cute and funny French musical that has like this incredible dancing in it. And then you're watching it, and then you see Gene Kelly show up, and you're just like, oh my God, it's like Godzilla just showed up. Like just like stand up in your seat. You're just like, yes, Gene Kelly's here.
Does he start dunking on everybody?
Oh, he just starts dancing in the street. And like, or as they say in France,
Don LaRue? Don LaRue?
Yeah, Don LaRue. And you're just like,
Il danse dans la rue?
Fuck, this is so good.
Oh, God damn. Man.
Like, you just see him, gracious. He turns on that $1 million smile, and then he just starts dancing, and you're just like, holy shit, this is what movies are all about.
And that's what Ben just experienced during our theme song. He saw, like, the reason he brings this up as his closest point of comparison to the excellent dance that I was doing.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a Jersey Shore fist pump was what I was going for. I don't think I got there.
Anyway, this is Quest,
the Adventure Game Podcast.
I am Ben, PS_Garrick on Twitch and very occasionally YouTube.
And I am Jess, that's Decaf Jedi on all your favorite platforms. And Ben, I have a special message for you.
All right.
Happy birthday to the podcast.
Yes!
Happy birthday to the podcast.
That's right, folks. This is when this comes out, I believe the day after this comes out, Quest is 1 year old.
And 50 episodes. One for each week in a year.
Yeah, we did not miss a single Tuesday.
It's pretty impressive. No, yeah. I mean, and you know what's more impressive, Ben, is in preparation for today's episode 50, I went back and listened to all previous 49 episodes, and you know what? There's not a clunker in there.
Not one.
Everyone gold, baby.
This is we're the 90s bulls right now of podcasting. Yeah. Like,
only we're 50 peating right now.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't hear a lot about 50 Pete's, but that's where we're at. You sometimes hear about Adventures of Pete and Pete, but that's only 2 Pete's.
Did you watch the Adventures of Pete and Pete, Jess?
Only very casually. Yeah. And is it possible we've talked about the Adventures of Pete and Pete before?
I think we did. I was about to launch into an anecdote that I've already told.
There you go. Well, that saves all of us time.
Yeah, Was it an anecdote that I said before we were recording one time? We'll never know.
Yeah, because really our pre-recording spiel is increasingly about the same length as our episodes, which are also getting longer.
we
Um,
no.
okay,
The episodes generally have a baseline of 90 minutes, and then sometimes they're an hour 50.
yeah, and occasional
Sometimes
book corner.
like it is not like a creeping thing. It's just anyway.
Yeah.
Uh Jess, what did you have for dinner?
Oh, this is an important question.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you
Did you
asked.
have a big
And
loafer?
I didn't have a big loafer, but I feel like it's in that same comfort food zone. Ben, for dinner, I had homemade chicken pot pie.
Oh fuck
And
yeah.
let me tell you what. Let me tell you about
Yeah,
this chicken pot pie. It's not just chicken
right.
pot pie, Ben. In lieu of like a traditional pie crust, we topped this thing with Cheddar Bay biscuits, the at-home
Ooh.
Red
Like
Lobster
the
Cheddar
red
Bay
lobster.
biscuits.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever sailed on the Cheddar Bay before.
I've sailed the Cheddar Bay. I think once. I've only been to
Yeah.
Wed Wobster.
Wed Lobster.
I've only been to Wed Wobster once.
I'm only 1 year old. Yeah. I have a wed lobster. I have a little web lobster.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
No,
You got a wheel wed wagon.
yeah, no. I mean, the reality is, the flavor of the Cheddar Bay is the flavor of sodium, which is just what I want on top of my pot pie. But it was delicious, Ben. There's nothing on a nice autumn day, a nice 85-degree autumn
Yeah,
day that
yeah,
warms your bones
yeah.
like a little bit of chicken pot pie.
I love a chicken pot pie. I haven't made one in a little bit, but I'll go all like full pie.
That's what
Like,
we would normally do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what. And this was sort of an experiment. This was a
I think that's a totally like obviously it was a success. I could like that
oh yeah, you can see
like
the glow on
yeah.
my face of what
Yeah,
a success it was.
you're
Yeah.
glowing. You have the glow of the Cheddar Bay.
Yeah, that's right. Sun kissed by the rays of the Cheddar Bay.
I when I was a kid, I loved the Boston Market chicken pot pie. That was one of my absolute
Hmm.
favorite treats.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
now Boston Market is almost gone or completely gone. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's probably like one or two of those left. It seems like
Somewhere.
one of those things where it's like Quiznos isn't entirely gone, but it's pretty much gone, you
Yeah.
know?
They don't even have those gross little sandwich rats anymore.
Oh yeah, I was like, what the hell are you? Oh yeah, those
We have a
awful.
pepper bar, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that sounds lovely.
What have you? I mean, what have you been
Yeah.
eating? I mean, yeah, Ben. Let's go to our traditional
Do I have to
segment.
get a tune? Is this something I'm
No,
gonna have to dig into the public or not the public the royalty free music vault?
possibly. I mean, this is now like. I mean, what'd you have for dinner? I mean, what are you gnawing on?
I had chicken tacos. I made some chicken tacos. We're talking like so I have like just normal chopped up chicken breast with like some Aleppo pepper on them.
Oh,
Because there's this Middle Eastern grocery here in Chicago that has this incredible and I want to be clear, it's called the Middle Eastern grocery. Like I'm not like being vague. um and they have this incredible collection of spices and
ooh,
I'm always like and for a reasonable price, like not for your crazy spice price.
oh yeah. I don't pay crazy spice price. Yeah,
Yeah, you know, like the fucking chome traders or whatever.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
They would not be pleased at
yeah.
the cost of spice here. Um, but anyway, but then that I cooked that and then added some like decent salsa to it once like the chicken was cooked through and let that thicken. And then just canned refried beans and avocado and you know the Mexican sour cream, like the thinner
Yeah, yeah,
sour
yeah,
cream.
yeah.
It's good. And then
Oh man.
some of I think it's a Chihuahua cheese. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We talking flour tortillas, corn tortillas? What are
Oh,
we working with?
we are talking corn tortillas made right here in the beautiful city of Chicago.
Oh, there you go.
We're talking
A
the like
Chicago style tortilla.
yeah. Like so the
A deep
uh
dish tortilla.
yeah, it's El Milagro corn tortillas, which are made right here in the city. And at least I think so. Maybe they're in the burbs. I'm pretty sure they're made just here in the city though. And you get like they're in like this little paper wrapper,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you get like a dozen for 69 cents.
Oh man, that's the right price.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have a
it's
place here called the Tortilla Factory.
mhm.
And they used to have like an elaborate tortilla making machine that like you could watch it like move tortillas around on conveyor belts like it was a real factory. And then they just shut down that whole operation. And now I'm afraid the tortilla factory isn't fresh making my tortillas. And why call it the tortilla factory at that point?
Have you ever
I'm
made a
putting the
tortilla? Because it's pretty
yes.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, one
Like
of
I
my
have a
yeah.
tortilla press, but you know what? I still kind of like El Milagro a little bit better. They just
One
got
of
that.
my favorite stories years ago, gosh, it's probably been 15 plus years ago. My wife and I went on a vacation to San Antonio, and we went down to like their mercado to shop around the stalls there, and we saw like this beautiful cast iron tortilla press there,
Oh yeah.
and didn't have one at the time, and just had to have it. But what you don't factor in is when you're doing a walking tour of the city of San Antonio,
Now you're
and you're
carrying.
like in hour one of what's like an 8 hour walking tour of the city. It's really hard to carry around a cast iron tortilla press for an entire day like that. And it was like an albatross around my neck.
Yeah. Especially because you did like wear it around your neck. Like you just
Yeah,
opened
I
it
just
up
well,
and
yeah,
like
and
put
plus
it
I could do like
around. Yeah.
wacky moments where I'd like try like pretend I was squeezing my head in it and stuff like,
Yeah.
oh, I've got a
Yeah.
headache kind of thing. Yeah, you know.
There's this place here that I haven't been to in many years. Ruby's down in I believe the neighborhood of Pilsen here in Chicago. That I saw like that was the first place I ever went where and when I went to them for the first time it was like an outdoor stand and now they're like a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like what it was is that you put in your order and then like you just see this guy like take like a scoop and then go into a scoop of like prepared masa and then
There you
just
go.
toss it onto a griddle and then just press it down until and then just flip it and like made the tortilla right in front of you and then just toss the cheese and the el pastor and all that other shit. Some of the best fucking tacos I've ever had. God damn it, I'm getting in an Uber and I'm going down to Ruby's.
Oh
It's
man,
probably closed right now. And
I
I'm
wonder
also
if I could
full.
Uber there. I bet by the time my Uber got there, it might be opening.
Yeah.
So that would actually work really well.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been eating. But you know what?
Yeah.
I was disturbed. I was disturbed while I was eating because I heard the chirp and the scream of a new email.
Wow.
You can email us at questquestpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
This email comes from our friend Yop. Dear Ben and Jess, I enjoyed listening to your post-show book ramblings.
There you go. You can't encourage us, folks, or we will keep doing this nonsense.
Did you guys ever read adventure game related books? Some great books I've read and enjoyed. So I've read this email. You haven't, Jess.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, I haven't read any of these books. But I think you have. So,
Okay.
So have you read Sean Mills's The Sierra Adventure, the story of Sierra
Yes.
Online?
I have. It's quite good. I recommend it.
This might be an interesting future
Yes.
pod. Is talking about like one or more of some of these books because like Sean Mills's book and the next one here has definitely been on my list to get to. Next book, Ken Williams. Not all fairy tales have happy endings. Rise and Fall of Sierra Online. You've read that too, right?
I have. I have thoughts on that one. I would love to podcast about it.
Yeah. It's Ken gives some great insights into the history of Sierra. Unfortunately, he is not a great writer. Would you agree with that assessment?
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would put Ken on blast like that, but
he's never going to let you on his boat, Jess.
I mean, that's all. I want for us to have a live episode recorded on Ken's boat where we interview Ken and Roberta is like in the next room popping popcorn or just doing her own thing and not participating in the interview would be my dream someday.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, next, this one I haven't heard about, but this sounds interesting. Tony Werner, Revolution, The Quest for Game Development Greatness. Interesting regarding the history of Revolution software. So I believe that's Broken Sword and Beneath the Steel Sky.
Yeah.
And those. A special focus on engine programming, as that is his forte. That sounds interesting. I have not heard of that book. Nick Montfort, Twisty Little Passages, a nice overview of the history of text-based adventures. I would definitely be interested in that. Those are like, we've talked on and off about Jimmy Mayer, the digital antiquarian. Some of his best stuff is writing about the history of Infocom and text adventures in general.
Yes.
Because like that is something I is deeply passionate about. And so I have not read Nick Montfort's book, but I have read all of Jimmy's writing about the history of text adventures, which like his history of Infocom is pretty authoritative. But also like he writes about like Colossal Cave and its various iterations, and then also who is the guy that like also did like the picture text, like so kind of like the high res adventures that Sierra like Roberta Williams did. There was this guy like now I think he does like religious adventures, but he wrote about that guy. I forget who that guy is. Anyway. There are also some great non-adventure game related books on gaming. Have you read David Kushner's Master of Doom, Jess?
Yes.
I think you have. That's supposed to be great, and that's also been on my list. I
actually read it for the first time last year.
Yeah.
And it really holds up well as a game history that was written at a time when you might have expected it to be a little bit more, I don't know, sort of vanish in tone. It's a terrific book. It's really wonderful. I also read, I don't know if John Romero's memoirs on that list.
That's the next one.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed that. I highly recommend it.
Good guy.
Yeah, as John Romero has evolved into gaming's kindly uncle.
I love the John Romero arc.
Yes, so much.
I love the John Romero arc from like brash teenager at id to like hubristic, like, humiliating downfall with Daikatana at Ion Storm, and then this like late career like
elder
resurgence
statesman
as just like this like a guy who just seems nice. Like I mean I've never met the man, but he just seems like he also seems to have like a kind of a good humor about himself.
I mean, having interacted with him on social media, he is very tolerant of dumb fans asking him questions and things like that. So yeah, John Romero gets the Quest seal of approval. Ron Gilbert, you're still on blast.
The next one, this is also on my list because I am really Jordan Mechner's diaries during the development of Karateka and Prince of Persia. He just put out Mechner, and by just I mean I think like a couple years ago, like I think a graphic novel about his life, which is supposed to be really interesting. I'm really like Jordan Mechner is like a really interesting figure too. I have not really played that many of his games, But I like bought, even though I had no history with Karateka, the Digital Eclipse History of Karateka, and I think that is spectacular, even though I have no like investment in Karateka.
Yeah.
Like I remember having heard of it, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like this very sweet, it's this very sweet interactive documentary about this, this young designer and his very cool dad who's extremely supportive, and it's just a very sweet little story. And then like as you go through it and these interviews of Mechner and his father, like it cuts in, like you can play like beta versions of Karateka and like other little like projects that like no one talks about anymore, like this little arcade game that he made for the Apple IIe, or the Apple II, I think. But yeah, and then this is another one that's on my list. This list is getting pretty fucking long. Sid Meier's memoir, A Life in Computer Games. Have you read that?
No, but I should.
That one strikes. I wonder if that's good. You know?
I hope it has some pro strats in it somewhere, because I would like to improve as a Civ player.
Because Sid Meier is someone that I really admire, and I think he's like, you know, like he's not the that rhymed. I didn't intend it to. Like, you know, like he's not like the developer of Civ 7 is Ed Beach and like a whole bunch of people. But like as
Ben, why is his name in the title, Ben? Why does it sort under the S's in
like
Steam?
He's kind of like the you know, kind of the design guru of the of Firaxis. And like he's just kind of a very interesting figure. But there's just part of me that's just like, you know, he can't be good at everything. He can't. Like, I would not be surprised if that memoir is a little bit of a snooze. But maybe I'm totally off here. There's just a little part of me that's just like, can't, you know, like this guy, like, you know, this prick made the great Covert Action. You gonna tell me he can make a memoir too?
About pirates. I tried to say that with an exclamation point.
You know, I love the fuck out of the the Pirates remake that came out.
Oh yeah.
Because I was too young.
I liked both of them. Yeah.
Like I was too young for, like, by the time that I got to play the original Pirates, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get running on my computer. So I never really played the original Pirates. But the remake that they did, which was a pretty simple game. Yeah, not a lot going on in that. I spent hours and hours.
Oh, I did too. I did too. It's such an addictive gameplay loop of like trying to advance your rank and doing dancing mini games. Like, no, I got
very good at the dancing mini game.
I didn't want to brag, but me too.
Yeah. Like, because it's like there are 3 songs and they all have exactly the same like dance moves. So once you have those memorized, you just demolish the dancing mini game. Like the first couple times you do it, you're like, oh my god, this is the most hard thing that's ever been made. This is harder.
The governor's daughter is like, this is amazing. You're like a regular Gene Kelly.
Anyway, last. As bonus, Roberta Williams wrote a fictionalized book on the Irish famine and her ancestors' farewell to Tara. It's not great. A big disappointment to me. She tried to go the Ken Follett way, but failed. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Yop. That's a good. You know, if I could add an adventure game book to the list that I enjoyed quite a bit, one that's a little bit more academic in scope, but I think that people outside of academia would enjoy it too. What is Your Quest by Anastasia Salter? That looks
not familiar with that either.
Yeah, adventure games in the context of sort of broader trends in electronic literature, starting with interactive fiction and running all the way through modern expressions. Anastasia's a big Sierra fan, I know, and just an adventure game fan in general, and a really terrific book. One of the few I think that's tried to tackle this from a academic standpoint, and writes extensively about fan culture around adventure games and has some really kind things to say about our friend Akril, who worked with me
Oh yeah.
on some games, and of course made her own King's Quest. It Takes Two to Tangle,
Mhm.
and fantastic fan game creator. And yeah, she gets a pretty nice shout out in that book, as well as someone who's sort of engaging with the adventure genre in some interesting intertextual and metatextual sorts of ways. So yeah, What is Your Quest by Professor Anastasia Salter?
I I've referenced maybe like the main book I've read that has adventure game like stuff in it, but
Oh
it's not
yeah,
adventure is Hackers by
yeah.
Stephen Levy.
I'm not
Anyway.
sure. I read it ages
Um
ago and
it's a good
need to
book.
go back to it.
Very
I feel like
interesting.
now I have a better appreciation of that history, that I think I would enjoy the book a little more. I think I hit
Reading
it
about
too young.
early Sierra is super fascinating.
Early Sierra is the wildest thing in the world.
Uh and then like the other like game book writer, have you ever read anything by Anna Anthropy? The
No.
she wrote this great book about ZZT, the
Ah, yeah.
very first epic mega game before they closed forever. They made that one game, and then they were like, and then Tim Sweeney was like, "That's it for
Good. We did
me.
it. Nailed it.
Got it in one."
That's right.
That's a great book. Anyway, all right, but speaking of great books, what have you been playing?
Oh man, Ben. So this week I took a little detour for reasons that we don't need to delve too far into, but I played a little bit of the original Castlevania to prepare myself for this most Octobery of seasons. And you know,
It's the most Octobery time of the year.
That's right. I stand by what I thought of Castlevania in 1986, which is to say, I still don't care for it much because Simon Belmont doesn't jump good.
Is it, you just don't think he's sexy enough?
No, I mean, I watched Captain N, and he's very sexy in Captain N. But he doesn't jump good. Like, Mario jumps good. Like, he feels good when he jumps, and he can change his direction slightly in midair. Luigi feels even better when he jumps. He's a good jumper. Battletoads are good jumpers. Double Dragons aren't. Billy and Jimmy are bad jumpers.
About the jump in Castlevania, because I kind of agree, but I think the thing is that what gets me about Castlevania is that like once you start to fall, you're like
that's what I hate about it. Yeah,
like that's it.
Yeah, Metroid, she's a great jumper. Hard to beat. Rygar, terrible jumper. I found out in NES games you have either good jumpers or bad jumpers, and Simon Belmont, I'm sorry, is a bad jumper, and it just sort of spoils the game for me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in their original NES game, bad jumpers.
Oh,
in the adaptation of the arcade game, good jumpers.
Yeah. The Castlevania games are games I more like appreciate. I go back to them every now and again. I'll be like, maybe I'll become a Castlevania guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, I'm not a Castlevania guy.
It's so funny. I played Castlevania and then Castlevania 2 on the NES and have never touched the series again. And I feel like that is like such a poor representation of what Castlevania has grown to mean to gaming. Like, never having touched Symphony of the Night or anything like that, I feel like all my Castlevania opinions
maybe that's your next first play stream.
Yeah,
Symphony of the Night.
I think that would be unbearable. That game is going to be the opposite of all the things.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to it's going to go terribly for you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's not going to be good. It's going to stress me out. it's going to not result in good gameplay. It's going to frustrate people who love the game.
Will love it when Dracula or whatever.
Alucard? Is that the game where he's
or
Alucard?
whatever? Yeah, like says, "What is a man?" Everyone will be like, "Yes!"
Yeah, they do love that. How long is that in the first 10 minutes or so?
I think that's pretty early. I think that happens. Good. Here's the thing: is that I think everybody knows it because it's a tough game. I actually haven't played it either. This is my theory. Someone confirm or, but in a nice way.
If you're part of the Belmont lineage and you're listening, please let us know.
I have a feeling that everybody knows that because it's just like, because most people didn't make it further, or a lot of people didn't make it further. So it's like, you have this, what is a man? Like right there at the top. Anyway.
Yeah. What have you been playing, Ben?
You know what? I joined everybody else. I've been playing Hades 2.
How's Hades 2?
Loving it. So it is funny. Like, so when we record this, Hades came out, I think exactly a week ago, around that much time. I unfortunately haven't had a ton of like free video game time. And so I'm still at a woeful just 4 hours of Hades 2. Like, believe me, I would have much more time in Hades 2 if I could. But what's great about Hades 2 is that I loved the original Hades. I had such a good time playing Hades, to the point where I forced myself to stop. Like I said, I'm done playing. Like I was like, all right, like there are more things for me to do in this game. Like I made it. I beat the game and then I made it to like I beat the post game and then I started to do all the challenges. That's where I was at. And I didn't make it like super far on those, but you know, anyway. But like I was like, there's no more like story or anything, or if there is, it's very small. I've gotten enough out of this, but this game has enough of a grip on me that if I let it, I'll just play this forever.
Oh wow!
And so I was just like, I'm putting this game down. I'm giving it up.
Yeah, you see, I've never played Hades. I only have the loosest grasp on what it is.
Right.
Like this is totally a mystery to me.
And I'll explain in a little bit. What my point is though is that. So that happened, let's see, let me open up Steam here. I believe the last time I played the original Hades was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Let's see here. So my Hades 1, December 27th, 2021.
Okay.
Was the last time. And that's a game that's all about like movement and like, you know, the reason that like Hades is so popular is like, well, one of many reasons is that it feels really good. So when I picked up Hades 2, I was like, oh man, it's been like 4 years. I don't know, like, am I going to? And I also know like they changed up like the new protagonist of Hades 2, like she has slightly like a different move set, moves kind of differently, and there's kind of different strategy to how you play because she's a different type of, you know, character. And like the first couple runs I did of it, I was like, I don't know, it's just not, I don't know. And then just something like deep in the back of my brain, like just woke up and it's like, oh, we're playing Hades again? And then I locked in. Then I was just like, all right. Like it's just like, okay, like just running into the room and just killing all the bad guys and run into the next room and then you kill all the bad guys there. Hades, so Jess is like kind of like this like fun and narrative, like I don't know what if it is classified as like a roguelike or something like that.
That seems to be the description I see most commonly of it, which is
Yeah.
probably why I haven't played it.
Yeah, what I'm going to say about it, because what I think the trick to Hades and Hades 2 is that, number one, both of them were in early access for a while and used early access well. Like, the reason that they both feel good, like they have good game feel, is because of like they used early access to get like a massive amount of like player feedback on controls, and it doesn't feel like they took bad feedback, you know, like crappy nerd feedback. Anyway,
good nerd feedback.
But like it has like incredible style and really fun writing, and I think the trick of Hades is that it expects you to die and expects you to lose, and it kind of gives you like a nice little drip of narrative as you die, and then you go back to the story hub where like you run around and you talk to people, and they usually have something new to tell you, and maybe there's a little extra something that you can get to help you out for the next run. And so like the game is really good at like, it starts hard and it is hard, but it like kind of like even if you're a really good player, you probably get much further. And I'm not a great Hades player, to be clear, but it like it just gives you like just enough little stuff like every time to kind of keep tugging you along.
Gotcha.
And that's why it's so popular in my like, or one of the reasons. Like, it's also that like it's a bunch of sexy characters and everybody is probably like, you know, writing fan fiction about them.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I think I saw like cosplay photos of Hades before I even knew what Hades was. I'm now looking. It's like, Ben, should I buy Hades one for $6.24?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no lose proposition.
So, and here's what I'll say to you, Jess, is that you might have the same experience that I had with Hades. And you have a gamepad, right? Because you do not play with a keyboard.
Okay.
But I bought Hades, and I was like, I know what type of game this is. And I had also played the developers, like some of their other games, like they did Bastion,
Transistor.
Yeah. And I looked at them and I'm like, this is nice. Not for me. Like, I get it. I get why everybody's crazy about these, but not for me. But anyway, yeah, I played Hades and I looked at it and I had the exact same reaction. I was like, I get why everybody's nuts about this, but it's not for me. But then it was just like one of those things where like a couple months later, I was on a trip and I had my laptop with me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Hades another try. And it was just one of those things where, like, that unlocked for me. And then I just did not stop playing it.
Wow.
4 months.
Well, Ben, I'm going to purchase this live on air.
Wow.
Right now. It's happening.
Please read. So what's your credit card number?
Credit card number is going to be 6.
Uh-huh.
Expiration date.
No. I have one of the first credit card. You have credit card?
Yeah. It's a diners club.
Oh. All right. Anyway, that's why I've been playing. Jess, did you know that it is?
Wow.
October?
And you know, what I'm excited about for October this year is we are kicking things off with a really fantastic game, one that I think really captures a lot of the spirit of this Halloween season. Folks, we are going to be talking about Space Quest 4, Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers. It's finally, that's the classic spooky sounding sound effects. Wait, Space Quest 4 got canceled?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Space Quest 4.
I thought last week we said at the end of the podcast we were going to talk about Space Quest 4.
At the end of the podcast, it's like a little joke.
Oh,
Little
I was
joke we didn't.
serious. Like, I
No,
have a lot of notes, Ben.
no, you're gonna have to toss those notes because we're gonna talk about something that we have said at the end of a podcast that we are going to talk about. Uh, but we said we'd talk about next time. This is next time, a couple next times ahead.
Removed.
We are talking about the marvelous adventure game from 2022, Immortality.
Yes, the Sam Barlow FMV, creepy, fascinating, beautifully made adventure game. This is one that we've actually talked about. I think we talked about it a little bit in our FMV
Yeah,
episode. We talked about it a little bit in our Games for Grown-Ups episode.
yeah,
And you know what? You have to listen to us talk about it again.
yeah. I mean, so setting some ground rules here if you're listening. So right now when we're talking like this exact moment, we're going to talk about like kind of basics of Immortality, some stuff like if you're unfamiliar with the game, that like to just kind of discuss what it is. But this for I think maybe the first time will give you a warning and say like if you haven't played the game, stop here
Yeah, we'll let you
at a
know when
point.
it's time to bail out if you do want to avoid serious spoilers. But we'll definitely give you the heads up beforehand. This is a tough game to I think really discuss
Right.
and dig into what makes it so fascinating without spoiling some key points along the way. But we will give you the heads up if you want to stay
Yeah.
unspoiled. We'll start out with just some general comments about this game.
Yeah, like so this is right now the segment of non-spoilers. So Immortality is the third of like I don't know if it's like a series because it's not like Sam Barlow's the third game. He's made some other games. He worked on the
That's right.
Silent Hill. He made uh uh did you ever play, I think I've talked about this on here. Have you ever played Isle? I was going to ask you to
No,
play that
I
for this and
haven't.
then I forgot to. Do you have I talked about this? Do you know Isle?
I think I don't know if we've talked about it before. At some point, I looked it up, and now I've already forgotten what it's all about. Is it text adventure, right?
So Isle is a text adventure that he made in, let's see here. And I mean you can play this for free.
1999.
It came out the same year as Two of Everything, one of the films from Immortality. Um, it is a text adventure. You can play it on your browser for free. I recommend it. It requires absolutely no knowledge of how to play a text adventure well or anything like that. It is a one move text adventure. And my thought about Isle is that it is kind of like and I haven't, I mean maybe he has like some other stuff before this or something like that. I'm not a like fully up on his total, everything he's made. But like Isle to me feels like it holds a couple like the 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 seed of what would become her story, which would become like telling lies, then ultimately immortality.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say that in Isle, and I apologize if I've talked about this on a previous podcast, but Isle is a game where you are like it writes this description of like you're standing in an aisle of a grocery store and like you see this and you see that and there's a person in front of you with a cart and it reminds you of your trip to Rome or something like that. And like it gives you like this description of standing in a grocery store aisle and you have one move and that's it and then the game's over. And so it's like you could say look, gnocchi, and then it gives you like this long description of, it reminds you of like this wonderful trip that you took once. And then like you could say talk to person with like grocery, like the talk to other like woman in aisle or something like that, and then like it gives you that whole story and that's the end of the game. Or like you could
That
say like eat or something,
yeah.
and the puzzle of it is not like, you have to open up a locked door, you have to get past the troll that is blocking the bridge. The puzzle of it is finding all of the possible things that you can do in the aisle.
Which is very much, yeah, as you said, we can see threads of that then run through these later games like Her Story and Telling Lies and Immortality, where you have stories that are being told out of sequence, where a lot of the goal of the game is to piece together all of what's happening here as much as it is simply to reach the end of the game. Yeah, I could definitely see how that would you could draw a through line that connects all of those.
And I think it's a lot of fun. It's like a cute little thing, but I think it's like well written and very interesting.
Hmm.
And so like worth checking out. Immortality is I mean, I don't know, where do you start? This game's insane.
This game's insane. I mean, the mechanics of it, like Her Story and
And
Telling Lies
what are the
before it,
mechanics of Her Story and telling?
yeah, these are games that they're full motion video games, and the mechanics of those games at some level is you have a bunch of short video sequences that are telling a story, and you access these through searching through databases in both games that will, with keywords, give you access to certain video clips. And as you watch these video clips out of sequence and out of order, you're kind of piecing together the story of what happened, trying to solve some sort of mystery or understanding how some sort of event occurred. And in both of these games, it's kind of fascinating. Again, the goal in both Her Story uh, and Telling Lies is to sort of manipulate this database to come, you hear a word or someone mentions another character in a video clip, and you're like, well, I'm going to go search for that now. And so, that person just said Derek. What if I put Derek into this database? Will there be other pieces of video about Derek that will fill in more of this context for who Derek is and why he
Yeah.
matters to the story? Or will it just be a rabbit hole that goes nowhere? Does it
Yeah.
ultimately, like, is it a red herring? And sorting through this and searching this database and slowly piecing together the answers to a mystery, that's the mechanic of both Her Story and Telling Lies. And then Immortality, I
It,
think, extrapolates from this database concept one step sort of backwards from or away from that.
yeah.
How does it differ there?
Immortality changes it up. Like first, like, one wonders if like it's like, all right, well, you have Telling Lies and you have Her Story, and they're these both like pretty well received little indies, but like they're keyboard, like you need to type in
Yeah.
or like uh and
Click on
I
some
mean,
hot.
was Her Story only on uh let, let's see here, was that only on it was on
Surely.
iOS, it was on phones and Windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Because you at least need a virtual keyboard to play that
Right.
game.
And so that is like, so Immortality now like takes a look at it and goes like, okay. And actually, Telling Lies came out for the Switch, the PlayStation, and the Xbox. I'll
Hmm.
note. But and does that use like a fake keyboard? I haven't played Telling Lies.
It has a system that you can rely a little bit more, if I recall, on maybe like clicking on some transcripts of the videos and things like that to search a word. So it's still easier probably to type it in, but there was a way to interface with it, I think, without as much typing.
But Immortality is like very like obviously made with the thought of, it's like, okay, how do I take this kind of idea and make it like console safe?
Hmm. And
And
more
one would
organic.
think, yeah,
Yeah,
and one would think like, oh no, like, does this dumb down? It's actually no. Uh,
it's
so the
brilliant.
yeah, so the way that Immortality works is that you have like a couple little clips. The premise of the game is that you have like there's a moviola that has all the footage from the three unreleased films of this actor Marissa Marcel, and she like but we have all these like all the completed narrative of all three, though it's going to be like sometimes you have rehearsals and sometimes it's like kind of like work
Outtakes and
prints, but
mhm.
it's little clips and scenes and maybe some like interviews and other stuff. But you start out with just like a couple clips, and the way that you navigate from one clip to another clip and discover new stuff as opposed to typing in Derek or whatever is that you pause the movie like you're watching a like a DVD, and then just you have a cursor which you use with your gamepad, and you click on anything like any object or person on the screen, and then it will attempt to find, and most of the time it does find someone, though there are a
Yeah.
couple where it just won't, uh, a matching image.
Yeah. So, like, if you see a candle in a scene burning in the background and you pause the scene and click on that candle, it will try to find another video clip in this database that features a candle and take you to that, which probably the mystery doesn't involve candles all that much. So, that's sort of a just fun little road to go down to see all the strange things in the background it can pick up on. But you see a character maybe for the first time, someone you don't know and don't have any context for that just maybe pops into a conversation for a second. You pause and click on them, and maybe you go down an entirely new storyline path as you learn more about that character.
Yeah, and the thing is that so you are again you're cutting through three different movies and like stuff around those movies.
Yeah,
And
she is a film actor who has made three movies, none of which ever get released, if I'm not mistaken. All of
not
these are
all three have never been released.
yeah. So yeah, one of them is like what would you call it?
Yeah,
Like
so
a
yeah, I'll run
yeah.
through. The first one is from 1968. It is a movie called Ambrosio,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of this like uh gothic. All three of them are kind of erotic thrillers, which
Mhm.
is uh like very interesting in like the sense of it's like this game came out in 2022, which is like when the whole like discussion about it's like why isn't there eroticism in movies anymore like was really
Yes.
kind of like that whole discourse was kind of peaking,
Mhm.
and then this video game about like three different erotic movies
Yes.
came out, which is really interesting. Anyway, like great timing. So the first one, 1968, it's called Ambrosio. It's actually based on a real book. Did you know this? It's
You
based
told
on
me
an
this
yeah,
recently and I'm fascinated by it.
it's based on a actual book called The Monk, a Romance, which is a 1796 novel, and it was like uh it was published anonymously at the time, apparently because upon publication, the novel was scandalous. Readers were shocked by its sexually explicit content, the themes of rape and incest, leading it to be arguably the most controversial Gothic novel of the 18th
Wow.
century.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
and the version of it we see filmed here in
it's all there.
Immortality. Yeah, I mean, it's full of religious iconography, challenging adult themes, all of these sorts
the
of
The
things.
game has a trigger warning right up top. Like it has
Yeah,
like there's a content warning, and it's like here's a list of everything that might upset you. So please, if
yeah.
any of this upsets you, do
And
not
it's
play.
most things.
Yeah. Um, so that's Ambrosio, and we'll talk a little bit more about that film because I I I find all three of these movies and as like a movie dork, like I find them very fascinating because they're all interesting kind of pastiches and like kind of style parodies,
Yeah.
which are really cool. The second one is called Minsky.
This is the one I loved. Like this one was
Minsky was your
fun.
movie.
Yeah,
That
Minsky
is
was
it's
my movie.
72, I think.
Yeah, 1970, 72, somewhere in there. And it's more of like a cop drama
It's a
sort of story.
gritty New York cop drama.
Yeah.
Like, this clean, like this avant-garde artist is killed, and like it's an exploitation movie is what it
Yeah.
is.
Murder in the
And
art world, though, is such a great
oh
starting
yeah.
point and really ties into sort of the themes of this game
Oh
overall.
yeah,
All
yeah,
these do a
yeah.
beautiful job of I mean, they chose the right movies to integrate into telling this bigger story they're trying to
Oh,
tell.
it looks like it was 70. Anyway,
Ah,
so like yeah, it's this like, this detective he goes into like New York City's avant-garde art, and like he slowly like like goes to all these seamy and sexy clubs and all of that. Like it's one of those of which there were a lot of in the
yeah.
70s. And then the final movie is from 1999, so we skip ahead 30 years to
And she is
99.
mysteriously unaged.
Yeah, mysteriously unaged. And it's called a movie called Two of Everything, which is like, what would you like? That's kind of a it does feel like this is a movie that would be starring Michael Douglas, right?
I mean, I could see that. Like,
Like,
what's the here? She plays a pop star who has like a Prince and the Pauper kind of body double situation. Like, right? That's the
yeah,
setup there. And she has her body double step in and sort of take over her career while she needs a break. This actor, Marissa Marcel, is playing both roles of the actor and her double. And it's sort of exploring these dual identities in some fun ways. And what looks like a pretty cheesy kind of terrible movie, but in a perfect 1999 sort of way.
all three of those movies are very they capture vibes really well.
Yeah,
Like the Two of Everything is such a like is such a 90s like uh it really has the feel of those movies. I feel
hmm
like it really as I said, I don't know, like if you know what I'm talking about, it does feel like a movie that Michael Douglas would
yeah,
play like a shitty man in,
yeah.
like,
And what's
Fatal Attraction, or like The Game, or Basic Instinct,
yeah.
or like A Perfect Murder, like all this shit like that he was in. Like it just feels like one of those.
Mhm. And when you
Um
say it feels like this, I think this is a good like point to mention. These films are shot on period appropriate film stock with period appropriate looking I mean what appears
or
to
at
be
least it's edited to like
their edited
use
look
like
is it yeah I
filters
don't think
or
they're actually
whatever.
shot on that film stock. They walk that back. I
Yeah.
mean, they certainly are trying to capture the aesthetics
Yeah.
of each of these eras. So when you're playing the game from 1968, it or the film
It
from
has
1968, it
the
looks like
68 has like they definitely mess around with like the colors and how,
color grading definitely is
yeah,
there. Yeah.
like the 68 like has that kind of, I don't know if you would say it's like
Warm tones.
Technicolor, but it has
Yeah.
a very lush kind of color palette.
Yeah. And then it gives
Um
way to more of like a desaturated look for the 1970s gritty cop drama. And then we kind of go back to maybe
The
on the
fluorescent light, like I would say the '90s one is the most desaturated. I would say
yeah,
the
maybe so with
'70s
all the fluorescent. Yeah,
has that kind of cheaper '70s, like because I think it's low budget, but
yeah,
mint
maybe
speed.
shot on video
Oh, that's not
kind of
on
a
video.
yeah.
Absolutely not on
Okay,
video.
yeah,
But it has like that orange and beige and
yeah,
like kind of puke green look.
yeah.
Um, and I think we're about to enter like some of the but before we get there, I think what's really amazing about this game is like before we get into like what this game's about and its themes and blah blah blah, is that there is so much fucking chutzpah in this
Oh man,
game. There are so many actors and sets
yes,
and costumes. Like
yes.
you watch her story and it's like, it's this one woman in a room.
Yeah, give you
Occasionally there's a
yeah,
guitar.
give you a testimony basically. Yeah, I mean it is and telling lies is more ambitious than that. There are a lot more characters and a few locations, but it's all set in the modern day. People are just wearing what could easily be their own clothes, or wardrobe could probably be shopped at, Marshalls pretty easily for that one, TJ Maxx. But you get to Immortality, and yeah, I mean these are elaborate
They
sets. These are period costumes. These are large casts that we're dealing with.
and um the like and the performances
Yeah,
in Immortality are shockingly good. Like really the woman who plays Marissa Marcel, Man Engage, is she has to do so much in
yes,
the game. She has to play like she has like we see her as herself, and then we like see her as herself across like three different time periods. We
and
see
to see her playing roles in
yeah,
three different films,
yeah, we
and
see her
yeah,
act multiple different roles. We see her like like it is such a like it is such a difficult performance. She's asked to do so much.
yeah,
And this is also a game that like deals with very different like with adult situations. And so it's like there's a lot of like nudity and stuff like this. And it's
yeah.
just like she like and the rest of the cast honestly too. Like I don't think there was anyone in it that I thought
N-
gave a bad performance, but her in particular.
yeah,
um and we can name some more specific as
yeah.
we get a little
And
later in this.
in like a subgenre, of FMV games where we've been trying to claim like since the mid 1990s that we are now making interactive movies. But those interactive movies are oftentimes let down by the quality of their script, the quality of the technology they have to draw on, a lack of any sort of sense of cinematography or anything else that you would associate with a film. I think this comes as close to really earning that title of an interactive movie of anything I've ever played.
It what is also interesting is that like the game plays with uh so like the game is non-linear in the same way that those two other games that we've been talking about are. But what's extra interesting about that is that so it's like so you're jumping across time and space, going across three different movies and like associated video with each of the movies. But also the thing is that movies are not shot in sequence.
Wait a second.
Yeah. And so the game also plays with that concept, because the
Yes.
thing is that you as you're assembling like all of these clips on a like a timeline, you can order them by narrative order of the film, or you can order them as in order of when it was shot. And the narrative order will give you like the story of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and the like as it's shot order will give it you the story of like
How
kind
this
of the
movie was made.
backstage drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but also you're not watching either of these in order. You are hopping across all of them in completely disconnected order.
In ways you can't even anticipate always where you're going to hop to next.
And so the like so you're and I think I've mentioned this when I was talking about Her Story before. Like I had a friend who played Her Story, and she like had a notebook like and was taking, you know, a ton of notes. So it's like you could be taking notes, or you could be, you
Mm-hmm.
know, keeping track of it in your head and trying to like piece it together. But I found just an enormous amount of pleasure in like just kind of like, you know, like watching a scene from one of the movies and being like, wait, what's going on here? And then like finding the clip from like 2 scenes ago that establishes why her character is doing this other thing. And it's like, oh,
Yes.
that's why. And then it's like, oh, and then, oh, okay. So that means like, oh, all right, that means this. Um, yeah, it's a very, very like it's a very entertaining feeling. Like it's a lot of fun, and it's, you know, you're doing it all in your head, like because the
Yeah.
gameplay is just clicking around.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, one of the things we talked about before, just talking about adventure games in general, like one of the things that really jazzes you up in an adventure game or really gets like that little dopamine hit is that feeling of discovery. Like when an adventure game is delivering the feeling of discovery in general, I think that's one of the best things this genre can do. And this is a game that gives you a steady drip of discovery.
Yeah.
Like it feels like at every turn, you are, you know, uncovering a tiny bit of this mystery of what happened to Marissa Marcel and her career along the way. And maybe we're edging up now to, is this the point?
There's one more thing I want to hit before we kick everybody that hasn't played it or that doesn't give a shit about spoilers.
Now, I will
Which, you know,
say,
yeah,
who knows if you leave, who knows what's waiting in the back half of this episode?
yeah.
I mean, if you do say I don't want the spoilers, there could be a full book corner at the end of this episode. We might bring Grayson on to talk about immortality.
I mean, I
It's
don't,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to say
I'm,
what could happen.
you know, just to preempt book quarter, I'm about like 30-40 pages from the end of uh Jack Holmes and His Friend by Edmund White. Great book.
Mm,
Just about done.
well, there you go.
I'm like in the home stretch. Very
Mhm.
excited to see how it ends.
Well, hopefully by
Um,
the end of the episode, you will have finished it.
yeah, I am reading it while podcasting.
Yeah, well, only when I'm talking, though. I mean, in Ben's
Yeah,
defense, he's
yeah,
fully locked in when he's talking.
right, yeah, during the important parts,
I hate
and
how you like just hold the book up though, like as you're like that's what really like feels rude to me. You don't even just like look down at the book. You like
I
hold it in front of the camera.
I hold it up like I'm a beetle in Hard Day's Night, trying
Yes.
to avoid a crowd.
Have you ever told you about my old colleague who used to
John
come
Lennon.
to? Yeah, my old colleague in Liverpool. We were in the Beatles together.
Anyway,
But, you know, I had a colleague who used to come to our department meetings. It's like a department of 7 people. And she was kind of like at constant war with all of her coworkers. And would sit in meetings. She had a book that was titled something like How to Work with Stupid People. And she would hold this up over her
I
face
think you've
throughout
told me about
meetings.
this. That's so
And
funny.
yeah,
That's
just
such
like
a prick thing to do.
it really is. She just like read it through the entire meeting, like, and you just like be all right. Well, there you go. We won't talk to Cheryl
I
today.
wish I fucking had tenure. God damn it!
It's
Like
the best thing ever. It's the
like
best thing ever.
it's like you just be the most unpleasant person on
Yeah.
the planet.
I just
Uh,
kick back with my little and Bernick handheld. And I sit there and just play games with my feet up on the desk during meetings. You know, why not? But no.
anyway,
So
so one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is and I know this isn't really your thing, Jess. I don't think so anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I found googling around this, the people that made the game, like, because we're talking a lot about Sam Barlow, but there are, I believe, four credited writers
Mm-hmm.
for this game. Sam
One of them had
Barlow,
worked on Telling Lies previously, I know, and yeah.
Amelia Gray, Alan Scott, and Barry Gifford. And Gifford is really exciting, actually. Like, getting Barry Gifford is
Mhm.
a massive, like, to
Yeah.
me, a huge coup, because
Yeah, this is Kathy Lee Gifford and Frank Gifford's son.
that's right.
Continue.
Barry Gifford is like, he's written like a shitload of books. And he also uh wrote, he co-wrote the David Lynch film Lost Highway.
Oh,
And he
wow.
also
This tracks. This tracks. Yeah.
yes. He also wrote the novel that one of my favorite David Lynch films is based off of, which is he wrote Wild at Heart, which I think is just a marvelous movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually like, that must have been pretty fucking cool that they could get, like, that they got Barry Gifford, who's considerably, like, if you could, considerably older than the other three people working on it, I believe. Like, he's in his 70s. But
Yeah.
like, he's just written some really wonderful things. But the studio that made it put up on Letterboxd, the movie, like, review social media page, a playlist of the movies that were an inspiration to Immortality.
Ooh.
And like, I that was like, again, as like something of a movie dork. Like, I certainly have friends who are considerably, who would look at this list of movies and say, I've seen all of these.
Yeah.
I've only seen like, I would say maybe like 10 of these or so. But like, when I
Oh
was
man.
playing Immortality, I was like, oh my god, like, this is like, oh wow, this is, it's giving Antonioni.
You know
Um
what I love on
is what
this
I was
list
saying.
that I would have never thought of as a point of comparison, but now that I'm looking at it, it makes perfect sense. I love that the bodyguard,
Yep.
Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston is on there. It's
And
like
that makes a lot of sense given what
that
we
makes
said
so
about the
much
90s.
sense. It is perfect. Like that is one that I would have never pulled myself. And now that I see it, it's like, of course. Yes.
Like,
Oh, this is
it's
fascinating.
a, yeah, and you could just Google like letterboxed inspirations
Yeah.
for Immortality.
Ernest goes to jail?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well,
I
you
would
don't remember like that sequence where Marissa is chewing on the end of a pen and it explodes?
That's right. That's right.
um, but like,
Hey, Vern.
there are, if you're a movie dork, it has a lot of wonderful treats for you. I've seen, like, it has, what's interesting to me is looking at this playlist, it has like, a lot of people say it's like, wow, this game is like, has some Lynch in it, David Lynch.
Yeah.
And I this is teeing me up for a little bit of a rant here. And
Uh-oh. A
this is
classic
actually,
Ben rant.
this is a Grayson pet peeve that has become a Ben pet peeve,
Mm-hmm.
which is that a lot of people call shit Lynchian when they just mean it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
There's a very specific, there is a very specific strangeness and construction to how David Lynch did things. Not everything that's kind of weird or kind of dreamy It's like a David
Mm-hmm.
Lynch thing. You see a
Yeah,
weird little doll, it's not Lynchian.
yeah. You see, I've only seen the Elephant Man. I think of his filmography. So anything that diverges too much from that, I would never call Lynchian.
I mean, The Elephant Man is a remarkably good movie.
I mean, I think I saw it circa 1980, so I was probably like a small child.
I I rewatched The Elephant Man very recently since David Lynch recently passed, and so I rewatched The Elephant Man and a couple of his other movies recently. And movie is incredible. But the three of his on here, uh, there's one movie of his that I have not seen, and there's part of me that is like, I think we might have talked about this too. Like sometimes I don't finish stuff, like, I might not finish a show or I might not see everything because I always like the idea that there's something else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one movie of his I haven't seen. I've seen everything else. Which is I haven't seen Lost Highway, and I'm gonna watch Lost
Ah,
Highway, which Barry Gifford co-wrote. Um, but on here is Fire Walk with Me, the Twin Peaks movie, which absolutely,
mm-hmm.
um, and Inland Empire, which is very obvious, because
Yeah,
Inland Empire, like what, um, like kind of the everything that's happening to Laura Dern is in Inland Empire. You could say like, yeah, I kind of see I could kind of see that happening. But Inland Empire though is pretty simple. It's about a woman in trouble. But like some of these references on here as like Black Narcissus by Powell and Pressburger, you could see that in
yeah,
oh, what's Ambrosio?
yeah,
Blow Up. Like I mentioned, Antonioni. That's all over Minsky. Like Cruising. That's all over. Cruising's a really
yeah,
fun movie. Clute.
yeah.
That's also all over. This is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Videodrome makes perfect sense.
I haven't seen Videodrome. I
I
gotta.
only know of it. I haven't watched it, but I mean, yeah, it is right in there with some of the themes this one's engaging with. Now, this is a fascinating list, and I mean, it should tell you at some level that this game may mind freak you a little bit. It may Chris
You might.
Angel
You
mind
might
freak you.
find yourself a bit angled. I'm not gonna retake that. Mind froked.
Yeah,
Uh,
you may be mind froken by the time the like froked right in the mind.
but all right. Let's all right. If you have not
Spoiler alert.
yeah,
Spoiler alert.
yeah. When the wolf howls 3 times, we will say the spoilers. That's 2. Nope,
Oh
nope, nope.
man.
All right, come on, come on, come
No,
on.
no, still not spoiling.
All right, I guess no spoilers. Oh, oh.
Okay, spoilers. Yeah.
All
It turns
right.
out she was a ghost the whole time.
Ah!
Gotcha.
Now, so yeah, so for those of you who stuck around, then you already know. There's also like this supernatural element where if you play the movie backwards, like Beatles songs and heavy metal, get secret evil messages.
I mean, that's not entirely inaccurate. That sounds like a bit. But
Yeah, like
Ben,
I started to say that seriously and then I turned it into a bit, but I also meant that seriously.
yeah, I mean, that is part of the mechanic. One of the things that as you're watching these video clips, you can do is scrub through them in reverse. Occasionally, you'll see like a weird little visual glitch of some sort that tells you maybe there's something odd about this
I never saw a glitch. It was
How,
that's if you're rewinding. I It'd
yeah,
play a
yeah.
sound effect in your
That's
gamepad
right.
if you're playing
Yeah,
on
I'd
a
rumble you a
gamepad.
little bit. Yeah.
If you don't
And
play it with a game, like a lot of people have said, if you don't play it with a gamepad, it's a lot harder.
yeah. And as you walk backwards through these, you'll see some like weird glitchiness as you scrub back through it. And that is your clue that you need to take a little closer look at this bit of film. And as you do, I mean, we've already got the narrative of these films. And then you have the narrative of the behind the scenes backstage stuff that's happening around these films. And you unveil now a third layer of narrative involving immortal
Like
supernatural creatures.
these two creatures called the one and the other one who are like these like beings that are kind of like fast well the one is fascinated by humanity and art and like sex
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is
Somewhat disgusted by.
yeah he's just kind of like eh. And this is what's really interesting to me about the game, and this is how I approach this kind of stuff. Not like is that so especially with the one and the other one narrative that you also piece together.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, it's this other layer, and there's already so many fucking layers.
That's right. Yeah.
But
It's
there
oops all layers. It's
yeah,
like the lasagna of video games.
yeah, it's a real lasagna of a game. 5 stars. And but the
It's
you
like the
watch
tiramisu of video games.
yeah, is that like my approach if I'm watching or reading, if I'm interacting with something that is like very metaphorical, which this is, like a lot of this is like very metaphorical, I stop really caring that much about the plot and I care a lot more about theme and vibes and like what it is like trying to signal and elicit from you.
Yes.
And I want to be clear that like of course like I googled and I read people's like Reddit whatever and it's like oh she
Mm-hmm.
represents this and he represents this and this is like here's the whole story and this and you know what all of that checks out like it all kind of clicks into place.
Yeah.
You can find that story in Immortality. I That's not something I really care about honestly. Like
Yeah.
I care about like that it is that immortality is like taken up close when it's the story of Marissa, this story of like how like kind of domineering creators across time like kind of use and abuse
Mm-hmm.
to create things and then like you zoom out and you have like these kind of like beings that like they'll like the one references phones uh like phones as we have them today like it's like oh you
Mm-hmm.
could pull up a satellite view of any desert and she says that on footage from the 60s so she's kind of
Outside of time. Yeah.
yeah
She is
she's
eternal.
yeah she's like a Q. They're both Qs.
Yeah. It
They're
doesn't say they're cues, but I think it's implied.
yeah, they're Qs. They're just
Yeah.
because here's the thing. We just think that all Qs are like,
John
John
Delancey.
Delancey.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other Qs out there, and we've met some of them. They're also annoying. But
Yeah.
like these two Qs are kind of like their whole Q shit is a little different. Anyway, but like taken from like their point of view, it's like this story of like fascination with art and like disgust with art and like doubt and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And we like sort of the vibe I got from it out of these supernatural creatures is like I read them almost like as maybe angels or something along the line of like a biblical angel. I mean, they hint that they've been around since the Garden of Eden at one point.
Yes.
They are there for the crucifixion,
Yes.
which I think that the
She
supernatural being,
references like, yeah, having been there. Yeah.
yeah, and like almost sees that as like its own form of almost performance art, it sounds like. And yeah, this idea that they've been going through history, she's fascinated with the human experience and fascinated with this idea of capturing sort of an immortality as the name of the game would suggest.
And like these two like beings like kind of manipulate and possess and like kind of
Yes.
like, and I've read, because this is an important distinction and I want to know what your thought is here. And this is maybe even going a layer deeper of spoilers.
Hmm.
So if you've only played like the first 20 minutes, maybe this is too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, but do you think, Jess, because I've seen people say online when I was Googling around, it's like, the one possessed Marissa, and like that's like, because the one will speak, it's like I was there. She'll be talking as like she is Marissa, and sometimes like
Hmm.
in the like when it subverts the scene, like you'll see her standing in for Marissa, but like doing it in a different way or being like standing up
Yeah.
to like a shitty director. Um do you believe that she is totally puppeting Marissa, or do you believe that she is in there with her?
I
Because
think there's still some Marissa
yeah,
there.
that
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
agree too. Because like I don't think the game is nearly as interesting
If it's just
if
this is a
if it's
vessel.
just that like
Yeah.
she's like puppeted
Yeah.
this body, who like
Mhm.
you, if you could dig into the story and find like that she's even like older than she appears, like she was like from the like like born in the 30s or something.
Yeah, that's right. And still making films in the 90s looking like a young woman. But this is fascinating to me because then it just like adds so many layers of identity that layer onto this, both for the character of Marissa as well as Manon Gage who portrays her. I mean, you have on the one hand you have like some sort of real Marissa. Then you have the Marissa who is a professional in the film and entertainment industry. Then you have all the characters that Marissa's playing, including playing a body double of herself at one point by the time we reach the two of everything. Plus, there's this level of identity that she is at some level, you know, a vessel for this being the one who I mean, just again it peels back so many different aspects of this complex identity.
What movie is very much like that?
What's that?
Inland Empire.
Oh,
It's a very tough hang. I don't think you'd like it, Jess.
yeah, no, I mean, no, I mean it's this, and then yeah, I mean, again, you have Manon Gage who's portraying Marissa at these various points in her career, in character, out of character, her personal relationships, her professional relationships, and then you also have a different actor who is playing the one. What's the name there? I don't have that in front of me at the moment.
um the woman who plays the one is Charlotta Mullen, and
Yes,
her performance is also unbelievably good.
captivating and like upsetting in that sort of like I was playing this at night in a dark room, kind of occasionally makes you want to glance over your shoulder to make sure she isn't in the room with you kind of vibes, which like it really creeped me out a few times because she breaks the fourth wall. I mean, she's like literally breaking the fourth wall. I mean, she is uh, commenting on what is happening in this footage while also speaking directly to you, the player, in a way that is very unnerving and that just stuck with me. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Before I even had time to reflect on what any of this was trying to say, I think that unnerving feeling in a very good way was my like most immediate emotional reaction to this.
Yeah. it is like it's so unnerving in her performance. Like she has like this very steely glare
Yes.
that like that she employs, and I don't know, like like she just has like this look that she just gives the camera, and it's a very like it's just she has a very remarkable presence
Mhm.
on the camera.
Yeah.
And
It's like she's looking through you.
yeah,
Like that song I recorded with my bandmates, the Beatles.
very
I'm looking
good.
through you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, it is just a tremendous performance. That I just yeah, that's that like her and Gage as Marissa Marcel, like both really just smash this like everybody else's performances are very good. Especially I sure feel like there's the character Carl Greenwood who plays like the detective in the
Mhm.
cop movie, and he's like plays like this like actor who like realizes that things are getting worse and worse for him.
Yes. Yes.
Like, like you just kind of see him like just kind of just kind of get more and more uncomfortable as he realizes like the situation that he's in. Um, but
But you're right. I mean, both of the female leads in this just knock it out of the park. And it's good that they do because so much of whether the game works or not is riding almost entirely on those performances, right?
yeah,
If they don't pull this off, it is a strange little game that maybe doesn't land quite with the same impact. The fact that they are nailing this, and again, the kind of performance you simply don't expect to see in a video game. Quite frankly, like, we know the quality of acting in a lot of FMVs, and this game, and really all of Sam Barlow's FMV games, that we aren't seeing that B movie feel necessarily.
you're not gonna look at it like you might look at a FMV game from the 90s and go, "Huh, it's charming."
Yeah, that's
Like you're
right.
not going to be charmed. You're going to be like unnerved, and it's going to make you feel things. Like that, it's like
That's right. Yeah, in a way that you know, Muppet Treasure Island never could.
the game or the film.
The game, the film can make you feel things.
Yeah.
The game just isn't up to the task.
Yeah, there's something better. That's such a heartbreaking song. That little boy, he just wants something better. It's
Yeah,
right
who
there in
doesn't?
the
I mean, yeah, yeah, just like this. I mean, Immortality is right in the title, and that's what the game's all about.
title. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much more to like. One of my favorite little like I was really fascinated um by Ambrosio, the
Yeah,
first movie, because here's the question. You said that you like you enjoyed Minsky the most, and I get it. I think that's like the most pulpily excessive. Like it's just kind
yeah.
of a like a fun
For a
hang.
rube like me, it's exactly what I
No,
would like.
I'm not saying that. Like I'm just saying like it's it's the most like straightforwardly enjoyable film
Yeah.
of them,
No, I
I
mean,
would
and I think
say.
I just love like the idea of how a 1970s cop thriller
Yeah.
would treat the avant-garde art world of the 19 like, to me that's a fun juxtaposition because like I'm fascinated by the art world of New York in the 1970s and seeing that through the eyes of a dumb cop who doesn't have any idea what's going on around him.
Well, and they're inspired because the director, who he's a jerk. Although
Yeah.
the directors, there are two directors in this movie, Arthur Fisher and Sam Durek, and those guys are just so loathsome. They're just such
Yes.
slimy assholes.
Yeah.
they're, like, they're such fucking pricks. And but he's friends with, or at least like acquaintances with, Andy Warhol, and
Yeah.
like that's a fun. They couldn't help themselves.
No.
There's one scene where there's a actor, very like giving a very light Andy Warhol impression. Like
Yeah.
they don't give him many lines, and he's like crossing his arms, and he's got like the sunglasses and the big blonde
You got the
wig,
wig. Yeah.
like to just kind of Andy Warhol, and he's just like, oh hello, like just a little, uh, they couldn't help themselves. Is there anyone
No,
else that's like real in this?
I don't
I think Andy
remember.
Warhol might be the only like
Yeah.
actual like
Mhm.
historical figure in this, other than
Yeah.
sexy Satan.
Yeah.
Um
Unless the one is in fact real,
oh yeah, well the
as
one
she
is
seems
real
to
for sure.
imply at several points in the
Um
game. Yeah. So yeah, maybe the one also.
Arthur Fisher, the first shitty, like, so yeah, I was saying like Ambrosio I find fascinating because it's like it's this very baroque, uh like the idea of making Ambrosio is that it's directed by this guy Arthur Fisher, and he's an American director, and they're shooting it in Italy, and the reason they're shooting it in Italy is so they could make it like an erotic thriller, so
Yeah, a
they
little
could have
pornier. Yeah.
a ton of nudity.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because it's like that's not something that Alfred Hitchcock ever did, but Fisher is very like clearly like he's like 2/3 Hitchcock, and then like a bunch of other smaller percentages
Yeah.
of references to other directors,
Yeah, he
but
is Hitchcock coded. Like
because he looks
his
like him.
visually. Yeah, that's right. He looks like Alfred
He has
Hitchcock. Like
the same like the
yeah.
same hairline and the same
Yeah.
build, and like the age that people think of, like everyone
Yeah.
thinks of like the Alfred Hitchcock hour,
Mhm.
like Hitchcock, like he looks like that.
Yeah.
The
Which
major
probably Hitchcock was only like 30 at the time
yeah,
during that. That's just how people looked back then. Yeah, I mean, if he stepped into tracing of his own profile,
yeah.
it wouldn't surprise you.
Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da. Um, he like, and it's like Hitchcock, memorably had that incredible British act, like that really fun, like kind of
Yeah.
British lilt, where this guy's an American, but he's the exact same type of like lecherous creep.
Yes. Yes.
like not on this list. I'm actually looking here, and I don't think on this letterbox list that a Hitchcock movie is on this. I would say probably of any of them. Like because yeah, the Ambrosio is not like any Hitchcock movie.
No, that's right. I
It
wouldn't say, yeah, what I know of Hitchcock, that doesn't feel like his vibe at all.
if there's anything, because like the point of Ambrosio is that like it's this director, and he's consciously making like kind of a little more out there kind of arty film, which Hitchcock only made like kind of one movie like that, which was Vertigo, and it didn't do
Hmm.
well, so he like never did that again. Like he tried to be a little more commercial after that. And uh so like this is like, well, I guess if Hitchcock tried to make an erotic, like this is, because yeah, like it's clear, because you'd think that maybe on here it would have the birds, and then it's like the birds, parentheses, like special features, the making of,
Yes, yeah, that feels like the inspiration. Yeah, please see, 42
please,
minute documentary on disc 2 on
yeah, like
making of the birds.
please at least read a Wikipedia page about Tippi Hedren,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like he's just this slimy, like the way that he talks to Marissa, who is, I think she's supposed to be like 17.
yeah.
um and like, and he's like
She's an
very
ingenue.
he's very creepy to her, like
Yeah,
extremely.
absolutely.
And Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a really like that the writing and his portrayal and like the way that like he behaves, I just
Hmm.
found really fascinating. Like there's a lot of stuff that kind of ties into the themes, but also just like kind of operates independently as like a, oh, this is an interesting guy. Like this is an interesting character. Like my
Yeah.
favorite character, Eddie, the gay guy in Minsky.
Hmm.
That's my favorite character. He's this cute little gay guy.
There you go.
Quest podcast at Gmail. I'm the guy that checks those emails. So, reach out.
Eddie, if you're out there.
but yeah. Like I don't know. It's there is so much and I like a thing I like about it, and this is kind of what I was getting to before, is that it leaves a fair amount like kind of open for you.
Yes.
And I haven't 100%ed this. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it has everything. But
Yeah.
I'm going
But
to
I think
say
probably in your first playthrough, I think most people are probably not going to get every piece of this
no.
unless they are using some sort of guide or something like that to make sure they hit every single hot spot to see every clip. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't remember. Does this one give you a percentage of how much of the
I
footage
don't
you've seen?
I don't think it does, but there are
Telling Lies did, and I think I saw like maybe right at 50% of what the total clips there were at the end of it. And there were like I went on to read plot summaries. There were whole threads I missed out on in my
I
playthrough of Telling Lies, and I kind of love that about these
I
games.
like I before this podcast, like a friend and I were talking about Immortality, and she's like, "Oh, you have to watch this video. It will really goes into it." So she sent me like this YouTube video that I watched before this that like kind of felt like I was like, "Oh yeah, I was kind of wondering about that." Like, and I saw so many clips in it that I hadn't
Mhm.
seen in my playthrough. I was just like, oh my god. Like, oh my god, I miss this,
Yeah,
I miss this, I miss this.
yeah,
I mean, most people don't 100%. I'm looking at the Steam achievements, right?
yeah.
There are Steam achievements for getting every piece of two of everything. That's at 9.2%.
Okay,
Minsky is
yeah.
8.9, Ambrosio is 8.8, so essentially all about the same. And then every piece of footage is 7.9, so that's another percentage down. And then finally, hidden achievement. So super spoiler if you don't like
Double
being
spoiler.
spoiled on hidden achievements. The saw all subverted
Mm.
footage 4.6.
Yeah. So most people are not getting this complete story. And, on the one hand, I guess there's an argument to be made. That's cool for replayability. If you want to go back and revisit this, you could probably find bits you didn't see. For me, I actually kind of like it in a different context. I like that I got a version of Immortality that maybe wasn't completely bespoke for me, but I got my version of it and got to walk away with the parts of the story I got. And the parts I missed would just have to be little mysteries for me that I may never know all the answers to. And I kind of find that satisfying about Sam Barlow's games. I don't feel the need to 100% these or get every little bit. I kind of like having the version of it. It's like, yeah, when I walked away from this, when I walked away from Telling Lies, when I walked away from her story, I had my version of this game that was open to my interpretation of what I just experienced.
And I like that about like the because running credits on all three of these games is like you get them at like halfway or 60% or
Yeah.
somewhere like and that it's the game saying to you, it's like there's more, but like you've done enough.
Yeah. That's right.
You
Because all
could
these eventually have a trigger that you have reached some milestone of understanding what's going on that sort of advances you to the end. You've managed to back your way into, even if you're just randomly clicking, the piece of footage that puts at least some of the pieces together for you. At which point the game says, "Yep, you did it. Good job."
Yeah, it's like, that's enough. Like, you can keep going, and we'd love it if you did, because this was a
Yeah.
lot of fucking work. But
Oh my god, this was a lot of work.
but
This
like,
game.
Jesus Christ, like, the wig budget alone was the budget
Oh
of Her
man,
Story. They put
yeah,
Dan and Gage in a lot of fucking wigs.
and they're good
Anyway,
wigs. These aren't bad
great game.
wigs.
Is this gonna go in the Hall of Fame?
Ben, this is huge. Can you read off what's currently in the Hall of Fame?
I think we added crossbow, conquest
Yeah.
of the longbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did
Crossbows, it's
we
called in short form.
did we add anything else?
I thought we had something else as part of that discussion.
Oh no,
Eagle-eared
you know what? We
readers can tell us.
retroactively added some of the ones that we've already done episodes of. So I think I threw in Hypnospace
Yeah. I
and
think Immortality for me is up there.
yeah, Immortality.
It,
I'm gonna add to the Quest canon.
yeah, because I mean, for me, in terms of like modern adventure games that have really
Oh, and
stuck
Norco. I
with
think
me.
Norco
Yeah,
is in there
Norco,
too.
of course,
Yeah.
Norco. Of course, Norco. Another game that really stuck with me after I walked away from it, in part because of its weirdness and in part because of the fact that it really just engaged with some fascinating themes along the way.
I didn't sleep well last night because I was up late playing Immortality, and then I got to the end, and it kind of, it really unsettled me. And then, like, I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to sit with these feelings all night. Great, thanks, Sam.
I streamed Immortality a couple of years back as my first playthrough, and I absolutely had nightmares about it every time after I ended playing it. Like the one really creeped me out. I cannot, in like a wonderful way, in a way that like you want to be creeped out by a slightly scary piece of media, right? Like, I mean, it's not like gory or gross kind of creep you out, but I mean, definitely it kind of, for me, got under my skin in a really wonderful way. So yeah, I thought way too much about the one after I finished playing this game.
Yeah, I don't know. This could be a 3-hour podcast, but you know what? It's not gonna be
We're
this
doing
time.
it. It's 3 hours, baby.
All
We're
right.
keeping going. We're just getting started.
Anyway, I think I've said enough though. I feel I've said my piece. This game kicks ass. Check it out.
It does.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think that I think between Ben and I, or Ben and me, that you
Mean
have
and mean.
mean and mean. Between the two of us, I think you kind of have two very different entry points in the sense that Ben is definitely a film nerd, and there's a level at which, I mean, clearly there are parts about this you appreciate that I, as someone who's a philistine in these areas, would not pick up on. But I mean, this is still very accessible and very fascinating. If nothing else, like that vibe of wow, I'm actually watching 3 different movies made in 3 different decades as I play out this game is pretty fascinating, even to a layman like me.
Want to rewatch Inland Empire?
You should. Ben, that'd be a great thing for you to do this weekend.
I don't know if I have time. It's a long movie. But
Yeah. What you
and
got
it's
going on this weekend?
I'm going to a cast party for that improv show that I was talking
Oh
about.
man.
Yeah.
Are you sure that you are not currently a vessel for the one?
Oh, I'm definitely a vessel for the one, and a
Okay.
very boring one. Like when they make the immortality about my life and people are like scrubbing
Mm-hmm.
backwards.
Through episodes of Quest.
Yeah, they're like it's just they're going to see like footage of the one like just sitting at my computer every time and being like, I was so bored.
And that's the entirety of the scene.
Yeah, and then it just runs. Jess, you want to know what's embarrassing is how long it took me to figure out, and by how long I mean like literally I was close to the end of the game before I figured out that because that you can rewind in the subverted footage
Mm-hmm.
by pushing the forward is because you discovered it by rewinding, so
Oh,
you push forward and it rewinds. And I did
there
not
you go.
figure that out until like right at the end. I was just like, oh well, it's because it's like the weird footage. Of course you can't rewind it. because I'd
Mhm.
watch it all the clip all the way through, and then I would
Yeah.
hit rewind and wouldn't do anything, and I was just like, oh well, yeah, of course it's weird.
I don't know if I ever discovered that. Yeah, I just assumed weird rules applied.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there were weird rules, but there were weird rules.
Weird rules.
That well, we are rules. Anyway,
This was Quest, the
yeah.
adventure game podcast.
Thank you for joining us for Quest, the Adventure Game Podcast. Rate and review the show. It does help people find it.
Yeah,
Thank you for sticking with us for a year.
that's right. I mean, we have such big plans for the next year. Who knows where this podcast could go?
All food podcast. Almost certainly coming up.
Yeah, sooner or later. I mean, really, that's where we're getting most of our feedback these days, is how much people enjoy hearing us talk about what we ate for dinner. We hear very little back about adventure games, really.
I mean, that's not entirely not true. When we open up like Discord, when we open up our Discord, like
On
Tuesday
Tuesday
morning, there's always like a discussion of like about Big Loafer.
That's right. Yeah, like honestly, like the main feedback we get on every episode, and this is something that we're trying to incorporate into like how we make new ones, is simply, I shouldn't listen to this podcast on empty stomach.
Right.
That seems to be the most common feedback we get. And you know what? If you went to Big Loafer, you'd never have to walk around with an empty stomach.
Yeah. You work at Big Loafer, you never work a day in your life. That's what they say.
That's right. You teach a man to loaf.
He'll never be big again. Now, you can send us a email at questpodcast@gmail.company.
Yes.
And you can join us next week when we record our live commentary as Jess and I watch Inland Empire together. And, you can sync it up so we all watch it together. What fun! In Space Quest 4.